Hi, I'm Lauren Middleton with Cutting Horse Central, and today we are here with Mr. Richard Jordan, who was the Open Futurity Intermediate Champion and the Open Futurity Reserve Champion here in Idaho, riding Metallic Missy. Richard, can you tell us a little bit about this mare? And also, you are quite well known for your 2-year-old program, and so we're excited to see you here showing. It's pretty cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I got to keep her all the way through, just like I would one of my two-year-old program horses. Mm-hmm. Bob came down to Fort Worth and picked her out at the yearling sale, so I've had her for close to 2 years, and she's been in training the whole time. Been a super good filly. She started good, and that second ride I knew she was a good one.
Yeah.
She just had the right feel.
Yeah. Well, so what was something special about her, I guess, going forward that made you guys keep her and show her? Mm-hmm.
Bob was a good friend of mine from way back. He brought me one of my first horses and called me up a couple years ago, and he said, "Do you think I'm going to sell all my brood mares up here, and I want one good horse? And do you think you could come down here to Fort Worth and help me pick one out? If I come down here, will you help me pick one out?" And of course, I told him he has a good eye for him, and I'd let him do the picking, but I would go with him anyhow. And so we showed up down there. We picked her out, and he bought her, and or I should say, he picked her out and he bought her, and then we've had her the whole time.
Some other horses, that you've sold in the past, such as like Ichi's My Choice, she was Horse of the Year, and then now her son, Super Trooper, is doing so great too. What are some that, each year you have arguably some of the best ones. What are some that have stood out to you?
Yeah. Believe it or not, it seems like most of the obvious ones were obvious to me right mm-hmm. from the beginning. And then it was obvious to the people watching, so they got in the right programs, and the right people did the right things to make them be successful. We really haven't had a whole lot of them that I felt like were great that just didn't get a chance.
Yeah.
It just the good ones, it just seemed like it worked out, and it was obvious to the right people that they were good.
Yeah, I'm already hearing about several that you sold last year that are doing so great, and hopefully we'll see them here at the Futurity pretty soon too.
Yeah, I get excited for it every year. It's really nice when they go down there and do good. It seems like it sure helps our business out when they're doing well. I think it almost helps more when you have somebody like James Payne that goes and blows away all the early Futurities on them. The 2 years that he did that, it seemed like it helped our program more than when we have one that's making the semifinals or whatever. But it's always good when they do good for their new owners. It's good for us.
Definitely. And so you mentioned something about Todd Nelson and your partnership with him. How did that all come about?
Well, I met him right here. Jody Cada, I was riding with her a little bit on some horses that she had at her place, and helping her get some young horses going. And Todd was a client of hers, and I don't remember what the situation was, but she had me help him here, and then we met through that, and he had always been a fan of that 2-year-old sale down there. He's been going down there pretty religiously for a lot of years, watching the 2-year-old sale, watching the yearling sales, and I think he had the whole idea. And I think when it started, he probably saw himself actually being the 2-year-old guy. I don't know that for sure, but obviously he had to work and everything, so he needed a guy to put into the picture. And when he met me here, he just thought that's going to work. And so that fall he went down to the yearling sale, and I think he'd already had 3 or 4 of them bought, and he called me and said, do you want to do a 2-year-old program? And so that's the way it started.
Yeah. So the 2-year-olds have been your staple. What is something that you enjoy the most about training 2-year-olds?
So, you know, I always have, once the project's done, once a horse gets to the point where they're trained, I lose interest. I don't know why, but I can't bring myself to go ride a finished horse. I just don't. I don't enjoy it. And that first, you know, everybody says, well, you take those good ones down and you sell them, and then you got to come back and start over with 15 colts that are just. And to me, that's the funnest part, because it's like panning for gold. It's like when you find one, it just feels so good, you know, because it's 3 days into it, you know, you can feel that horse has got everything that you need, and it's like you're looking for it, and when you find it, it's such a neat feeling. And when you can develop that and they come on and they're excellent, it's a good feeling.
Yeah. Do you have some colts that you're excited about going into the Futurity sales this year?
Yeah, and I gotta say, I always do. You know, every year your best one feels like it's got to be the best one.
Yeah.
But we've got a couple of really good horses. I've got a little paint. Well, she's not really a paint, but she's got a weird sock, a highbrow cat filly, out of a gray Starlight mare that stands out. She's just really, really hard to miss. We're pretty excited about her. I've got a once in a blue boon filly that's really excellent. I've got a Sandman Colt that's nice, and a highbrow cat filly that's really good. We've got four or five maybe that I really like. You know, one that I think might be, maybe even two that might be standouts.
Thank you, Richard, for taking the time to talk with us today, and congratulations on your success here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.